Hi guys. So today we're going to, because I know yesterday we read that chapter. Today, instead of rereading the chapter, do the questions. We're going to first do the cause and effect worksheet. Sorry, excuse me. Cause and effect worksheet, which is on page 97 of your activity book. Tomorrow we'll reread the chapter and do the questions. Okay. It looks like it is just one page for cause and effect. Now, as you're getting ready to turn to that page, let's discuss. We have done cause and effect. Okay. Cause and effect, there's something happens, and then what effect does it have on that situation? For example, everything floods because it rained all night. Okay? The cause is rained all night. What happened? The effect was it flooded everything out. Okay? So, cause, you already have this written in your book, it's right up there. And event or circumstance that makes something happen. Answers the why. Okay? It answers the why. Someone says, why did it flood yesterday? We would respond with, because it rained the night before. Okay? Cause is actually short for because, right? So if you think about it, when someone asks you a question, hey, why are you eating pizza? Most of us would start that answer with, because it's my favorite food. Or because this is the reason I'm eating pizza. Right? That's telling us the cause. The effect of it is something that happens as a result of or because of a cause. Because of. Okay? It tells us what happened. This is the why. This is what happened. Okay? So, Mr. Edic, what's the cause and effect of this? We are working at home because of the coronavirus. What's the cause? Coronavirus. What's the effect? We're all working from home, right? The cause is going to happen before the effect. The cause will always happen before the effect. Okay? The cause happens, then there's an effect afterward. You get in trouble at school, and then the effect may be your parents ground you. So they would say, why did you get grounded? Because I was bad at school, right? Examples like that. The cause is going to lead to an effect, right? So when we're filling these in, the effect is what happened. The cause happened before, first, okay, before the effect, right? So I keep this up. The way that they have it set up is they have them like this. One, we'll do one over here, then two, okay? So I'm going to write out it in, we'll do one, That'll tell you the first 2 lines on each of them. We'll do 4 and then we'll do the other 3 afterward, okay? So, this is based off of our reading, right? So you just got to think about what has to happen first and then what would affect it, okay? Number 1 says, Europeans immigrated or left to the New World. And the other one is Europeans had little opportunity in Europe. So, we got to think about it. Why is going to give us our cause, and what happened will be the effect. So the first one, let's try and think of that as the cause. Europeans immigrated to the New World. Okay, what was the effect? Europeans had little opportunity in Europe. No. First one, effect. Europeans immigrated to the New World because they had little opportunity in Europe. Yes. Okay, so what that means is write an effect on the first line, and then next one will be cause. Okay? What that means is the Europeans had little opportunity in Europe, so they moved to the New World. Or if we read it the other way, it would say Europeans immigrated to the New World because they had little opportunity in Europe. Right? What that's saying is the cause was they had nothing to do in Europe. So what was the effect? They all ended up moving to the New World. Right? Number 2. On the East Coast, the land was claimed and competition for jobs was stiff. Immigrants and U.S. citizens moved west looking for new opportunities. So, is the first one cause? This is what they, because of the East Coast land was claimed and competition for jobs were stiff, everyone ended up moving west? Yes. Okay, so number 2 goes cause and effect. Okay, they all moved west because on the east side there wasn't that much. Okay, and if you turn that around, would it make sense? Immigrants and on the East Coast, land was claimed and competition for jobs was stiff because immigrants and U.S. citizens moved west looking for new opportunities. No, it wouldn't make sense. Would land be claimed if everyone was moving west from the east? No, that means people would stay in the east because the land would be available. Everyone was moving out. But that's not what happened. They all started in the east. They hated it because you couldn't find land. So the effect was we're all moving west to pick it up. Number 3. Brutal fighting and a cycle of revenge erupted because immigrants and U.S. citizens moved west looking for new opportunities, or immigrants and U.S. citizens moved west looking for new opportunities because brutal fighting and a cycle of revenge erupted? Brutal fighting and a cycle of revenge erupted because the immigrants and U.S. citizens moved west looking for new opportunities. What happened when they all moved west? All the natives and the Europeans all ended up fighting, right? So, the first one, brutal fighting, that is the effect. And then the other one is the cause. Right? Yeah, I want to make sure I give you the right one. Okay? So the effect was all that brutal fighting and a cycle of revenge erupted because the immigrants were moving west. Okay? Now number 4. The U.S. government passed the Indian Appropriations Act of 1851 because more Native Americans were forced to relocate on the reservations, or more Native Americans were forced to relocate onto the reservations because the U.S. government passed the Indian Appropriations Act of 1851. Yes. So the first one is the cause. Second one is the effect. So what happened was, once we started passing the appropriations, then what did happen to all the Indians? They were forced to move onto the reservations. Okay? So the first one should say effect, cause, cause, effect, effect, cause, cause, effect. Okay? Need to pause it? You can to finish writing them up. I'm going to erase these ones and we'll write down 4, 5, 6, and 7. I mean 5, 6, and 7. Sorry, we already did 4. So 5, 6, 7. Okay, number 5. The U.S. government passed the Homestead Act of 1862. There was a land rush of new settlers in the West. Is that the one? Yes, the land of new settlers in the West. So, did the U.S. government pass the Homestead Act of 1862 because there was a land rush of new settlers in the West? Or there was a land rush of new settlers to the West because the U.S. government passed the Homestead Act of 1862? Yeah, once we passed that Homestead Act, it made it so the Native Americans had their reservations, so we did not. That's when everyone started going over there. So once that got passed, everyone said, let's get over there because now the Homestead Act has appeared. Okay? Cause is the first one, effect is the second one. Number 6. Brutal fighting and a cycle of revenge erupted because there was a land rush of new settlers in the West. Yeah, the land rush happened and then the brutal fighting was the effect of it, right? So 6 starts with the effect. And then the cause was because everyone was moving over there. Okay? And number 7. Even on the reservations, Native Americans continued to work together as tribes and maintain the power and influence. The U.S. government passed the Indian Appropriations Act of 1871 and stopped recognizing tribes as the independent nations. That's the cause. First one is the effect. We ended up they continued to work together to maintain the power and influence because the U.S. government passed the Indian Appropriations Act and stopped recognizing them as independent nations. So they continued to do it. Okay? So that's cause and effect. We're going to work on cause and effect a lot. That would be shown on your tests and whatnot down the road. Cause and effect is a big thing when it comes to ELA. They ask a lot of questions like that on tests. What was the effect of this occurring? Which what they're asking is what happened? What was the effect of it raining all day? What was the effect of the Europeans moving west? What was the effect of the Indians being forced in reservations? And then the cause is what were the reasons, right? They showed up there, and then the effect was there was a lot of battling and death, right? So cause, an event that makes something happen. The effect is the thing that ends up happening over it. Causes will usually be the reasoning of what's happened, of why something happened, and then this is going to tell us what actually ends up happening out of it. Okay? Flooding, what's the effect? Houses get destroyed. Cause. Coronavirus hits us, the effect, we all have to stay home in our houses. Okay? We'll work more on that down the road for worksheets. This is lesson 8.3 on your activity book, in case you were looking it up and couldn't find it out, page 97. You can rewind the video if you need to answer it. Tomorrow we're going to reread the chapter, Severing Ties. Okay? So, you guys have a fantastic day. And if you need anything, let me know.